This tutorial is about running Spatial Daylight Autonomy. So in this video we're going to take you through running Spatial Daylight Autonomy under the BS EN 17037 guide. So let's have a look at the model to start with. We're going to analyse this new terrace property that's going to slot in here. I've set up a couple of scenes at the top here just to aid changing layers or tags as we move through. So let's have a quick look at those. So we've got posed on its own. I've also got the ground floor. I've run a section through, and you can actually see I've already set up some materials on the ground floor. I'm going to take you through exactly that same process on the first floor. And we've got the final tab, which just takes a view from inside the room. So let's go back to that first floor and let's look at some of these materials. So when you install Daylights, you get some basic materials that we've included. Obviously you can add your own as well, but they just aid in seeing what's been applied to what surface. So we've got the ground and external walls. We're going to apply those in a little bit, and then we've got the internal layers. So ceiling, floor, internal walls, and the reveals of the window. So let's apply some of those. So I'm just clicking inside the group, and we can use the floor first. So I've just applied floor to it's just a plate that runs underneath all of these, so I've applied it to that, and it's been created as a group, so I can apply material to the group as opposed to a face. Just saves a little bit of time, and we should be able to do the same thing with these internal walls. I need to do the same thing on the internal walls here, but this time, because they're also external walls, I just need to click inside that group and just apply it to these internal walls. Now we can do the same thing for the small room as well. And then we're also going to apply the frames while we're in here. Okay, there you go. That was a bit fiddly on that last one, but I think we're pretty much there. Okay, and then these front ones as well. And this window around the side as well. Okay, and that's it. I think I've applied that to all surfaces. So let's just escape out of that. So I can exit that group. So I've got the floor, the internal walls, the reveals done. So all that's left is the ceiling. So because this section cuts below the ceiling, I just need to exit out of here and go into the proposed. And then we can look at just hiding the layers so I can get at the ceilings. So yeah, so you can see the ceiling's already been done on the ground floor, so I just need to apply it for the first floor. Okay, and again you can see I've put them into a group, make it a little bit easier to apply materials to it. And that is that. Yeah, so I've now done the ceiling, I've done the internal walls, I've done the reveals, and I've done the floor. So all we need to do now is the external finishes. So I'm going to do that from the proposed here. So we're going to apply external walls. And I can do it to the roof first. Actually, I've done the whole thing there. Let me just undo that, because that will do the outside walls as well. So let's get inside the group. Right, now I'm dealing with just these entities. Okay, and again here I can now get to the individual faces and apply those materials. If I'd selected the whole group, it would have applied it to everything in that group and overwritten the internal stuff that we'd already done. Okay, so that's those done. You can actually see I've missed a couple of internal walls. Let's just go through and do those again. Okay, and I think I've missed a couple of frames as well. Okay, there we go. So I think we are there. Yep, you can see I just need to do the same thing on the ground floor. Okay. If we go back to the scene, we should be able to see everything done now. And there we go. Okay, so the materials are applied. We're just ready to go ahead and register the windows, and then register the rooms, and then we're pretty much ready to go with our analysis. So let's just I'm just going to stick to the ground floor here. So let's do that. So a little bit easier to see if I just click on the ground scene, and we can open the register dialog box. Move that over there, and I'm just going to register them in a sort of clockwise position. So I'm just going to go with the default building name. It's the ground floor, window 1, and pick face to register. And then I'm literally just going to apply these 4 windows. And it's as simple as that. That's the windows registered. And then we're going to do the same thing, but registering the rooms. So, okay. So this time I need to get at the floors. So change that to room. And we're going to call it, I think we're going to call that front one the kitchen. Okay, and we're going to create the middle one as the living room, and the back room we'll make the lounge. And that is that. Okay, so let's just close that down now and go back to the external with everything turned on and convert the model. So once the model's converted, which shouldn't take very long, a few seconds, it will then give us a list of materials. So if I go to the materials dialog box, yep, you can see the materials that we've used within the model, and it's got the materials that are currently applied to them. So diffuse texture basically is a material that has got a bitmap associated. So hence I've got the words with the various materials to aid selection. So we're going to replace those anyway. We're going to override those with our own materials from the boxes over here. There's various lists you can pick from. We're just going to pick from within the EN 17037. And you can, I'm not going to go through it in this video, but you can go through and create yourself your own materials as well. So let's run through these. So external wall, I'm just going to give that 20. So yep, just pick the one you want to override and then hit update selected material. So I'm just going to go through and do all of these. So I'm going to make the ground 20 as well. Internal walls 50. I'm just going to go with the recommended values. I'm going to go for quite a high value for window reveals. They're usually the same as the ceiling in my experience. And then the floor. We've actually got another material that's appeared here. It's basically a face that's within our group that hasn't got one of the materials assigned to it that I've given it. The chances are it's an internal face that you can't actually see. So if that occurs, you can try and find it and give it a material. In this case, I'm literally just going to give it a low reflectance value. Yeah, but that's not going to impinge on the analysis. So okay, so I can hit apply. Okay, I can close that down. And I'm now ready to run. So let's get the calculation dialog up. BSEN 17037. I'm going to run spatial daylight autonomy, and I want to run all the rooms that I've registered. And then we can click run. Okay, that's completed now. I paused the video while I was running, but it took around 30 seconds for those 3 rooms within this model. So you can hit OK to that. Okay, so we can close the calculate dialog down now, and we can go and look at those results. So let's go to the ground floor. Okay, and you can see we've got some contours that have appeared here and some values as well. So let's just zoom into one of these and have a look at that in a bit more detail. So yeah, based on the target illuminance we're trying to achieve, you can see we've achieved that target illuminance for 41% of the room. The median illuminance for the room is 145. So I'm pretty sure we set this up as a lounge, or was it a living room? But that would be a target illuminance of 150. We can check that. In here. So let's just update the room. Yeah, so ground 3. So we have got that set as a lounge. So if we go back to settings, yeah, you can see under the criteria for EN 17037 what target lux we've got for the various types. Now, actually, living room obviously set to 150, but if I've got a lounge, it isn't actually appearing on this list. If that's the case, it will go for this option here, occupied space. So actually it's got a target illuminance of 200. So let's go back to that and have a look at that again. Yeah, so that's why it's not achieving the 50% mark that we're looking for, because its median illuminance is below that 200 value. You can see in this one, again, we're not getting enough light effectively, so we're trying to get a value of 50%. And our medium illuminance is 59. So even if that was a bedroom, that's not going to achieve our value. And in fact, it's not looking great for this analysis. We've got the same issue here. So I've got a medium illuminance of 115, but I've set this as a kitchen, so that we're looking for a target value of 200, and we're only achieving 115. So hence the area that meets it is not achieving 50%. If that was 50%, then I would expect this median illuminance to be very close to 200. The two would match. Okay, I'm just going to complete the video just by showing you a few choices you have for the legend. So under settings, application settings and legend, and if we set this to STA, you can see the setting that we're currently using, which is lux. It's showing it in bands of 50 lux at a time, up to 750. Alternatively, you could use a percentage of hours. So this is the target value, so we've got that set to 50. So in other words, we're going to get a block colour rather than the bands, and the area that is coloured is showing you the passed area within the room. And obviously if that achieves 50%, that's going to be a pass. And you can alternatively, you can also show hours. That would just show the hours that are being achieved within the room. But we tend to go with that option. I think it's the most descriptive. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.